The best way to make money online in your business is from your mind. You package up your mind, insert it into a digital product, and you make money from it. And I've made over 7 figures online with my business with that. But most people are thinking to make an online course, and courses are dead. So if you're thinking about making a course, that's the losing way. And in this video, I'm going to show you step by step the winning way. Look, there's so many people out there that are trying to package up information in an online course and sell it, and they're wondering why it's not selling. Well, one of the main reasons is because of AI. And it's only going to take me about 5 minutes to break this down. So if you don't have 5 minutes to spare, then you'll probably let artificial intelligence beat your actual intelligence, when the actual intelligence should win every single time. So look, the core thesis of this video, and the main thing that you really need to understand, is that AI teaches information, but containers create outcomes. And that's what people are buying. We're no longer in the information age. Information is readily available. It's abundantly available, right? So the difference now isn't who explains better, but it's who forces execution. And if you can get your customer to actually take action and to actually execute, instead of just sitting there and just getting more information when they're really in an information overload anyways, from all kinds of YouTube videos, AI, ChatGPT, social media content, and nobody's actually taking action. If you can get them to execute faster from your product, that's how you're gonna win. You can't just deliver information anymore. So the biggest problem with a lot of people that are trying to sell these courses is that they're still doing the traditional course model. And I've made a lot of money with the traditional course model years ago, but they're trying to work something that worked years ago today with information readily available and abundant. So most people, they'll try to pack as much information as possible into a course. So they'll record 40 modules. They'll upload to whatever platform that they're selling their course on. They'll try to run ads, and then they'll cross their fingers and they literally hope for sales. And then when they don't get any, they always blame the algorithm. Now, this model here, it worked, but it worked when information was scarce. Like I said, information is abundant now. So now somebody can just watch a YouTube video that explains it. Now somebody can just get ChatGPT to break it down in a second. So if you're only selling information, you're basically selling water in the middle of the ocean. So how do you flip this? How do you actually properly monetize your information? Well, you're at the right place at the right time, because I have a model for that. So I call it the PAID model. PAID, it's an acronym. And the P in PAID, it stands for prototype. So you need to stop building in isolation, and you need to stop spending 6 months perfecting whatever your modules are going to be in your course. Stop brain dumping your expertise into 97 videos, into 120 video monster, into 6 hours worth of content. Nobody cares. Instead, what you need to do is to define one clear outcome, period. And then outline that path and then sell it. But the difference here is, instead of just packaging that up and selling it as a course, how about you sell it live and then you build it as you deliver it? So I call this a MVP, or a minimal viable product. So you want to create something that is minimal enough to where you can get it done very quickly, but viable enough to get somebody a result. And then the P stands for your product. So a minimal viable product. So I'll use one of my courses, for example. I have a course called Digital Product Mastery. And I created this course in real time with the members of my community. I didn't have this course available first. I got people into my ecosystem, was teaching live, was having Q&A calls and answering people's questions, seeing what people actually needed in real time. And then I created the course from that information. I did the same thing with my YouTube system, another course that I have. And system, SYSTM, stands for saving yourself time, energy, and money. So whereas you can use YouTube as the engine to sell your offers and your digital products for you. So that engine will be working on autopilot 24/7, 365 because you're not able to work 24/7, 365, right? But I did the same exact thing. I didn't build it first. I sold it and taught it live and then built off of the feedback. So the reason why this works is because the market actually tells you what matters. And most people, they're making what they think to be strategic moves off of what they think and what they feel. And I'm telling you, the worst business decision is what you think, instead of going off of what you know, because you're actually in constant feedback loops with the market. So your first customers, they actually become your research department. And you don't get paid. You don't build and then sell. You actually get paid with this framework to build. It's kind of like getting paid to practice, right? So the P stands for prototype. Remember, minimal viable product or minimal viable prototype. The A in paid, it stands for accountability. And this is huge. Remember, whoever can get somebody to execute the most and the quickest and the fastest and get a result, that is who is going to win. Why can't I speak today? So look, the A stands for accountability. So information does not create transformation. Pressure does. Deadlines do. And being seen does. So my model isn't, here's module 3 of a course. My model is, show me your funnel or your system. Asking people directly, why didn't you post? Literally, just yesterday on my coaching call with the members in my community, somebody was talking about their metrics on their YouTube channel. And I was like, oh, okay, you're focused on the wrong thing. Because the view count doesn't matter if you don't know how many people from those views are hitting your sales page and what percentage of those people that hit your sales page, or in this person's case, opt-in page, because they're giving away a freebie in order to build their email list to market on the back end of their email list. I was like, what's your conversion rate? They don't know, right? So my model is, what's your opt-in rate? My motto is, like I said, every single week in my community, we have group calls. And then once a month on those calls, we have these accountability calls where everybody are given public commitments. And then they're forced to have execution standards. So the reason why I like this model is because accountability is what AI cannot replace. I literally get comments on a weekly basis of people asking about, oh, well, I have this idea, but why couldn't somebody just chat GPT it? Why couldn't somebody just Google it? Why couldn't somebody just Gemini it? Whatever the AI is. And I'm like, for one, most people that ask this question, they're not creating stuff from their experience anyways, because AI cannot duplicate, imitate whatever your life experience is. It can literally only find what's already existing out there on the internet. I'm like, yo, you can't. ChatGPT literally cannot do what I do because it hasn't done what I've done. But outside of that, if you had some type of accountability to your actual product, AI cannot replicate that. AI cannot replicate you. And we're in the trust economy right now. And I'm telling you, the best way for you to be successful in a digital world, in a digital space, is to be as analog as possible. You need to be talking to people. So the I in this PAGE framework, it stands for implementation. So with this, I'm not talking about any theory, and I'm not talking about any motivational speeches. I'm talking about actual live problem solving. I'm talking about screen sharing with myself and with others so we can actually see what their problems are and work through them. I'm talking about offer positioning. I'm talking about hook rewrites. I'm talking about packaging critiques, right? So implementation, it accelerates learning. So many people think that they're actually learning when all that they're doing is consuming information, but all learning is truly done through implementation. Think about it. How did you learn how to drive a car? Did you sit there and watch videos and read books about how to drive a car? Did you get your butt behind the wheel, put that car in the drive and hit the gas? Right? No matter how much you study something, you have to implement in order to actually learn. I remember my last job that I had before I fired on April 1st, 2016, I was a banker. I remember they put me through 2 straight weeks, I think like 80 hours of training to learn how to do the job. First day of me getting on the floor, somebody just walked into the branch and just needed to repin their debit card. I had no clue what to do. I had to call the manager and whatnot. I'm like, dang, I didn't learn nothing in those 80 weeks. But once I actually was doing the job on a day-to-day basis, I pretty much learned how to do everything in like a week, right? So the reason why this works is because one question on a group call, it unlocks 30 people. And that's true leverage. And the thing that you want to build in business, period, is leverage. There's so many people out there that are not building any assets for themselves that actually has leverage. So imagine how hard it would be to pick a boulder up if you didn't have some type of leverage of a levee. That's how most people are trying to build these businesses out here, with absolutely no leverage. And they have no leverage because they don't have any D. That's what she said. Whoa. But they don't have any D in the paid model, which stands for data. So this here is where you separate yourself from all the other gurus. So here you're tracking the right metrics. So instead of tracking views, likes, subscribers, comments, that stuff doesn't make any money. That stuff doesn't pay the bills. That stuff doesn't give you any revenue or profit. So what you're tracking is actual click-through rates. Click-through rates on sales pages, and even from a content perspective. A click-through rate on your content. I tell all the members of my community, within the first 24 hours, you should be aiming for a minimum of a 5% click-through rate on your YouTube videos in order to perform well for you. But also on your landing pages, and your opt-in pages, and your sales pages. What is your click-through rate? How many people are clicking those links that you have and actually going to your sales page? And then from that, what is the landing page conversion? What is the offer take rate? If you have something like have dedicated my life to, which is a community, what's your retention? What's your churn? Or if you have multiple products, what is the retention and churn off of those also? What's your lifetime value per customer? These are actual KPIs, which stands for key performance indicators, that we actually need to be keeping track of. We don't need to be keeping track of the likes, the comments, and all those I feel like it's growing. So if it doesn't convert, we fix it. And if it doesn't retain, we adjust. Transformation is measurable. So if it can't be measured, then it cannot be optimized. And this is the paid framework. Just to refresh, where the P stands for prototype, the A stands for accountability, the I stands for implementation, and the D stands for data. So this is a way to where you can actually properly monetize your online course with a paid model, to where you're actually delivering execution, accountability, and results over information. So this is how this replaces all the old models. So the way that a lot of people used to make money online, including myself years ago, this is kind of what I started doing before I went 100% online. But a lot of people, they'll do one-on-one coaching. But with this, it's capped by time. So if your time is a finite resource and money is an infinite resource, then you are going to be capped out by your actual time. And there's only so many people and so much time yourself that you can do one-on-one coaching. It's not something that can scale. Now, something that can scale is a course. But what a lot of people don't say, and a lot of these gurus don't say online, is that most courses, they have extremely low engagement. That's one reason why I'm building this credit at the top, because I didn't feel good on knowing that I have a lot of great information, but just by how people are, they weren't finishing the course. The amount of people that will buy a course, even something that costs thousands of dollars and not finish it, it's mind-boggling to me. But it has low engagement. And then the cohort, what a lot of people would do was that they would basically bundle up this course and then have like a group of people that they're coaching. So they would kind of have like a coaching program with the course, but with that, you typically have a limited access window, because a lot of these gurus out here, a lot of people that are trying to work the course model, they'll do these cohorts, and the cohorts only last a limited amount of time. So let's just say, for example, you're starting a cohort on January the 1st, and then March 31st, the cohort's over. Well, then you have to do a whole nother launch in order to prepare for the next cohort that may start in April or May. So, and I'm speaking from experience with this also, it's very stressful to have your entire year dependent on a couple to a few launches. It's stressful. Some people, they'll get people into their cohort through webinars. You may have heard of challenges or whatnot. But I'm like, yo, I don't want to have my entire year's income be dependent on 2 to 4 launches that I do to pitch some type of, 3 to 8 week program. But with the paid model, you can combine them. So if you do your prototype live, you get that cohort energy. But then also you have the recordings of that, and those recordings can be your actual course backbone, like the actual real evergreen course that you create. You can start off with the recordings of you teaching it live, and then kind of make it look more clean off of the recordings later. But the recordings can be the course backbone. You can host group calls. That gives you that coaching leverage. And then you can build a room, and that gives that community pressure. Because think, if you're in the room with other people that are all on one accord and all headed towards the same goal, you don't want to be the person in the room that's slacking. You don't want to be the person in the room that's not winning. So you can also track performance from other people within that room also. You can bounce ideas, other people that can get inspiration or a thought that they may not have been thinking of from the data from somebody else within the group. So this is the evolution of the courses. Right now, you can do this low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket. It doesn't matter. But the main takeaway is going to be that you need to stop selling information and start selling speed and structure. Stop selling information and start selling the outcome, not the curriculum. One clear transformation is what wins. People, they don't want information, they want transformation. They want to go from where they are right now to where they want to be. That's it. People do not care that your curriculum has 47 modules and is 2.5 hours long. What am I getting? Then always launch before it's perfect. Remember, an MVP, a minimal viable product or a minimal viable prototype. And the great thing about this is that the market actually sharpens your offer. You actually know what people need instead of always being confused and making what you think is the best move off of what you think. You stay in constant feedback loops with your target audience. And this is what I love with this model also. The community is the moat that protects not only you, but your business. And the community is the moat that helps you stick out amongst your competitors also, because so many people aren't doing this. So execution, it thrives in proximity, right? I remember when I was growing up, people said, and this is true, and this isn't an uncommon piece of advice, right? But they say that you turn into the closest people that you're around. You ever heard somebody say, like, if you're around 4 losers, I can definitely tell you who's going to be the 5th. There's so much power in proximity. And remember, we're in the trust economy right now. People buy things from people that they know, like, and trust. So people want to buy into you first, and then your product second. And if you give more access to yourself in the trust economy, people, they'll want more proximity to you, because they're going to be trusting that you can be the person that can give them the actual result and transformation that they desire. So remember this also. It's always going to be data over vibes. Don't go off of feelings. Go off of facts. And facts are data. All these numbers that we see on a day-to-day basis, even in content creation, all those numbers, they're not just numbers. It's data. And it's real people speaking in real time. All the numbers, they tell a story. Read it. Follow it. Growth without revenue, it's just a hobby. So this is going to be the main separator in this trust economy. And this is how you can definitely stand out and not have to worry about AI. I don't worry about anything to do with AI. AI is not going to stop or slow Aston down, because AI gives answers, but this paid framework, it creates results just like the results that all them got. So if you're ready to make more working less online from stuff that you already know, go ahead and click the link down in the description and join this credit at the top community. And I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. But do this. Don't just package information in a course. Use this paid framework and watch the money come in on autopilot. And go ahead and check out this video right here for a complete system that you can build around your YouTube channel, saving yourself time, energy, and money that'll have sales coming in on autopilot from this framework. It's credited at the top.